You are meant to write about what you feel. You are meant to share with us what you feel. But you have, as a self-discipline, you have, ignored your feelings and forced yourself to keep marching. Hello, my friend and earthly neighbor, and welcome back to a fabulous week in 2017. This time, we're well into spring, and it's the week before Easter. And Sensei says the universe is going to be mixing up all the goodies in your Easter basket. Mercury is retrograde, and Venus goes direct. From my smartphone to yours, keep streaming for your weekly Namaste Today. Welcome to Namaste Today, a delightful way to begin your weekday. I'm your heart-filled host and the Sensei to serious joy, Christopher Witecki. Welcome back, my friend. Namaste. This week is going to be a fabulous week. The universe is going back and forth, almost like a mixing bowl. We have Mercury going retrograde, or Mercury retrograde, that's the way I like to say it, on Monday. We have Venus going direct on Saturday, and on Tuesday we have a galactic full moon. So it's an intense week, and in essence, Sensei says you are trying to discover a new aim now. With the planets that are retrograde and all the other planets that are changing, it looks like we're ready to hop out of the Easter basket we've been living in into some sort of promised new land. Okay, forgive all the Easter references. I think it's just fun. I like this part of year. So today I'm going to talk about what you can expect during the week as far as the play out of Monday through Friday, and we'll talk about when the full moon climaxes. And then later in your tea time, I'm going to go in depth about a full moon new deal. I think the universe is offering all of us a new deal. I'll break it down for all 12 signs in our tea time. But first, let's take a look at today's moods and your 5-day zodiac weather. This zodiac weather is from Monday, April 10th to Friday, April 14th. Looking at your 5-day moodcast. Well, looking at the week as a whole, Monday and Tuesday are the most intense, Wednesday and Thursday is more private, and Friday you're directing to a new aim. Let's drill down. On Monday, Mercury goes retrograde and technology may fail, leaving you to be sunny and learning. On Tuesday, it's sunny and shifting in a quantum way as a full moon pulls you in a new direction. On Wednesday, it's cloudy, introverted, and private as you put up your walls and protect. On Thursday, it's sunny and quantum. You'll be ready to take it to the new level. And on Friday, it'll be cloudy and you'll be processing but ready to aim. And aiming is what it's all about in this next week, my friend. I think we're now changing our aim and finding a new direction. It has to do with the planet Venus and the changing of the retrogrades. So in our next segment this week, I'm going to talk you through the whole week. Taking a peek at the upcoming week, I coined this week Discovering New Aim. Now, up until now, the Sun in Aries has really been about discovering our new character, getting back to some of our core motives. We were removing old ego in the beginning of the transit. Venus retrograde is helping us get to the bottom of where that ego began and what the motives are behind the motives, right? And Venus has to do with love. It has to do with loving ourselves and loving ourselves better. So up until now, we've been building a new character, a new identity within ourselves. This week, I think we're going to now take that character and find a new aim. And we're not going to be 100% sure, but we're going to have to point in the right direction. And the full moon is literally about letting go an old aim and opening up to a new one. And you may know at the full moon what the new aim is, and you may not. That's just due to the fact that we still have some retrograde planets, and there's still going to be some sharpening. I really think next week, after Easter, is the week where we have certainty about what we're aiming. So this week about discovering new aim and aiming in the general direction of it, so you don't put too much pressure on yourself. Now, as the week opens up, we're moving into a full moon, and Mercury goes retrograde. All right. Now, I think this is very interesting, the overlapping of Venus retrograde and Mercury retrograde. First of all, retrogrades do indicate some sort of past life association as far as I'm concerned. And we're reopening to past life stories, past life soulmates, and in some cases with Mercury retrograde, past life thinking, all right, or past life connections. The other aspect of Mercury retrograde is that it's literally a look at how we look at things. So when Mercury's in retrograde, we're very reflective, and it's not so much about charging ahead, but rather looking at how we look at things in general. So usually this is because things change. I would not be surprised that you're very clear on what your aim is, and this full moon for you will be a release of the old, and then it is going to be 3 weeks of Mercury retrograde figuring out what to do next. For those people who don't know their aim, okay, they haven't discovered it just yet, which is just fine. The Mercury retrograde will be for you taking a good look at your life, looking at it from a bigger and bigger and bigger perspective and a different perspective so you can see where you are and what your aim is. Either way, the universe is helping us get our focus really this week, and there's a lot of gear shifting as a result. So on Monday, it's a sunny day, it's a learning day, but Mercury goes retrograde, so that's the time when technology does fail, emails don't get through. The universe is basically rerouting our connectedness as human beings, and technology certainly falls into that. Not a bad thing, just observe, don't try to expect too much out of yourself. But we move right into the full moon. In fact, the full moon is technically Monday night as we sleep in the United States. And so by Tuesday morning, it's already apexed, and we move to step 22. This full moon, which is what I talk about in our tea time today, this full moon is the shift. It's the emotional shift. And I believe it will be, on one side, a new deal. So I think you'll be making a new deal with yourself and a new deal with the world. And as a result of the new deal, the birth of a new you. And it's a step 21 full moon, so it's an uncertain full moon. All we know is a door is opening. Our challenge is to then walk through. Thank goddess it's Aries, so we'll probably have the strength to walk through and the courage after we've been through so far. And we walk through. And at that point, we're most likely looking for the promised land, looking for the new aim, looking for the new direction. Now, remember, Venus is retrograde, which means we have lots of past life stuff going on all the way through Saturday. So I'm anticipating the universe throws in a lot of unexpected information in and around this full moon, especially with the Mercury retrograde. Like, oh, did you know this? Did you know that? Things that suddenly change our perspective at the very last minute. Clearly, the universe did not want us to know this until now, for some reason, and you'll understand your story looking at it like, oh, if I would have known that, one of those types of things. But it does kind of change the story. So I think we'll be doing a lot of processing, and on the full moon, you're letting go of the old, you're embracing and opening to the new. Wednesday's very private, cloudy, introverted, pensive. This is probably just now starting to get our gears together. The moon's in Scorpio now, so we're going to be guarded, and we're going to feel defensive, and that's okay. You don't have to interact with people. That's why we came to Earth, is to have some privacy. There's no privacy in heaven if you don't know. Like, just so you know. Thursday, things get quantum. We move to step 24, from 23 to 24. And this is where, on Thursday, you're going to actually emotionally try to go there. So you proclaim around the full moon the way things will be, but you don't actually try to go there, like show up for the party until Thursday or so. So Thursday, we're kind of getting our groove on, but our guard is still up, because we're in the beginning. Then Friday, things get really fun. I think things are cloudy. I think it turns into a spiritual day. Basically, once you move forward in some sort of new aim or new direction, once you emotionally process it, you're kind of in la-la land. And the moon in Sagittarius at first might be a little freaky because it crosses Black Lilith, so that means that in the beginning of Thursday, Friday, some fears may come up. Okay, but these are fears based, I think, on past life, just kind of like maybe the fears Yoda would go into for a second before a new battle. Like, he's just been there too many times before. There's always a little anxiety, and I think that's part of what Black Lilith is putting there, is like bringing out our performance anxiety, because Sagittarius is the energy of the story we were born to live, and I think we're going to be on that story. So the end of the week ends up with a lot of processing, a lot of spiritual alignment, and then over the weekend, there's a commitment. There's a commitment to where you're going. There's a commitment to where you're aiming. And so you basically commit for Easter where it is you aim. It cannot be more well-timed, right? As far as the egg and fertility and Easter. It's amazing how it lines up. And of course, on Saturday, the day before Easter, Venus goes direct, which means the universe is like, okay, that's all I want to show you. Go back to play now. And Venus literally is that part that makes us open up to other things. So we'll be kind of out of the Venus fog, but still in the Mercury retrograde fog. And I'm sure the rest of the Mercury retrograde, the next 2 weeks, is kind of us going, what just happened? Like, like what vortex was I in? So this is a perfect little transit right now to talk about some tea. Go steep yourself some tea, and I'll get a little deeper with you for all 12 signs on the quantum full moon ahead. Hello, my friend, and welcome to our tea time. Today's tea time topic is the full moon New Deal. We have a full moon between Monday and Tuesday this week, and it's going to be a very powerful full moon because we have 3 planets that are retrograde during this full moon. We have 2 planets that are kind of nuclear. I'll talk about that. And we have major conjunctions. This means that all the planets are all sort of singing at the same time. And when a lot of planets are singing at the same time, that means we make major change, all right? When parts of us hold back, we don't change as much. But when lots of planets are showing change, we change. Now, this is a quantum full moon because the sun is conjuncting Uranus. Uranus is the instigator. It is the innovator. And it's at step 24. Step 24 is when God offers more. All right, so Uranus is saying, hey, I've got this whole new level, this whole new dimension you've never even been on if you'd like to walk through this door. The sun itself during the full moon is at step 21 when it starts to get fun. So our heart will be right at that place of adventure, like just opening the door. But with the Uranus energy there, we know this is an elevator going up, and we know it's going up fast, and we can't see behind where it's going. So it's one of those kind of exciting times to be alive, and everyone, I think, will be feeling this. Now, that's our hearts on one side. On the other side is the moon, full, in Libra, conjuncting Jupiter retrograde at step 17. Now, Jupiter is helping us to expand our beliefs about what's fair, what kind of relationships we want to be in, what kind of art we want to do, what kind of exchange we want to do. We're growing really fast in that. And I think, some of the conservative parts of the world is making the artist world really grow, and Jupiter and Libra is that artist role. And our justice of the peace is basically expanding and allowing it to be less judgmental is what's happening. And at the same time, we're being more clear on what we do want. So in this full moon, you're feeling the retrograde Jupiter, which is that you've come to some decisions about what's fair, and you're going to stick with at least those, okay? So that really is this kind of balanced equation, really. It's like, you know what's fair, you know where you're not going back to, you know what you have to make it balanced and to be straight with yourself, because that's what that full moon in Libra is can I be straight with myself? Am I going to let myself down in this earthly adventure? Am I going to be there for myself? Because Libra is our marriage to ourself, and then our marriages later. So this very much has to do with making that commitment to ourselves, of being there for ourselves, and where relationships go as a result, because it's still a high degree. It's at step 21 when it starts to get fun too, that full moon. So this tug of war is going on between your heart maybe hesitating to make the jump. Maybe your heart is reluctant to open that door and walk through. Maybe your feelings on the other side say, damn it, we have said what needs to be fair, and we're not letting this pass ourselves. We're not letting this pass us up again, right? And so this is a tug of war inside of you, which is what a full moon literally is. And then if you throw on the retrograde planets, we have Saturn retrograde, Venus retrograde, and Mercury retrograde. We're basically spiritually drunk, all right? Everything is twisted towards past, our past lives. And so in this really powerful moment, we're very aware of our whole story in our past lives. We're very aware of what's fair, and we're very aware of what's possible if we walk through the door, right? It's a powerful moment where everything is aligned. Now, adding some interesting pepper to the mix is Mercury is in Taurus at step 4. So that means our mind is ready to go dimensional. It's ready to go to another dimension. It's ready to shift where it believes it belongs. And our mind is retrograde, so we're inside out. It's easier now than normal to do this sort of thing, right? Changing clothes. And Mars is at step 22. Now, Mars is the ruling planet of Aries, which this is all in. So Mars is at step 22, Taurus, which means that we're about to have a quantum breakthrough in what we're manifesting and what our reality is and what our potential is. So as you can tell, it's a very powerful moon. Okay, so what I want to do is talk really quickly about this full moon in the sense of each of the signs and what they're going to be kind of tug-of-warring between the two. All right, I think it will help everyone. If you know people, this would be good too. I'm going to start with the water signs in Pisces. This full moon is going to give you new trust. So the full moon is going to give Pisces a strength of a sense of trust, and that trust is going to allow you to go for abundance or greater money or manifestation. So Pisces are, I think, finally ready to gamble in themselves. Woohoo! Cancers, they are going to feel very solid and grounded in their home situation for once. That's a new thing. They've just come into that. And that's going to allow them to point to where their heart really wants to go with their future, their career, their legacy, their story. Scorpios are going to be actually feeling new faith. And Scorpios have been fearless for a while, but this is faith coming in. And feeling that faith, they're now going to be ready to make some sort of a change in their daily lifestyle. That's where they will be moving their chess pieces. So the water signs are very much, changing some of the real earthly things on Earth, because that's what they're focused on. The earth signs, on the other hand, are making very private changes, I think, which will result in real-time changes later on. Taurus, like myself, I think Tauruses are starting to feel the new lifestyle, starting to feel the way life needs to be moment to moment. And as a result, Tauruses will have a new faith, which is super important because Tauruses manifest by borrowing against their faith. So they need bigger banks of faith. That's what I've realized for myself. Virgo, you're going to feel really valuable for once. With all the things adding up, you're going to feel a bit abundant, have energy to spare, and that abundance will allow you to trust new things, okay? Because you've been kind of closed down to changing your laws of intimacy, and this is going to be a leap for that. And Capricorns, you're going to be kind of typical. You're feeling your new careers. Like Capricorns are like, see the new mountain. And from seeing the new mountain, you're actually going to make some moves at home. So you're going to be able to call the race and say you feel grounded, or maybe move or relocate your home, okay? So these are all very private decisions with the earth signs. The fire signs are very affected. They're going to change their direction as a result. The Aries, they're actually feeling the new mirage. They're feeling a new deal with themselves. They're starting to believe in themselves. They haven't for a long time. And as a result, they're going to be willing to change their behavior and their character. So that's very powerful. The Leos are finally feeling sane and feeling a new attitude coming on board. They were very lost in their mind for a while. And now that's going to create an ability to start to believe in themselves and then move to a new chapter of learning. The Sagittariuses, they're going to actually feel a social calling. So Sagittarius are going to feel like some sort of social calling. That social calling is going to lead to them feeling strong enough to follow what their heart wants, and they're going to go for something their heart wants, but probably use the social calling as their excuse. Okay? And then the air signs. Let's talk about the air signs. The air signs, I'll start with Geminis. Geminis are feeling a new love in their heart. And that's what the universe is trying to get them to, is this love and developing their heart and their love. So they're feeling this new love, and that's actually going to be just the reverse, calling them to where their social calling is. So they're going to be finding where they belong in the world because of a certain love. The Libras are actually feeling a total new strength in their character. They've been under reconstruction for a long time, since their birthdays, developing a new ego. Finally, that's starting to pay off. And because they're feeling it, they're ready to go into new relationships and new deals. Okay, so by new relationships, I mean new deals with people, new relationships with themselves, new relationships with others. Okay. And then lastly, the Aquariuses, all right? Aquariuses are going to be feeling a new belief in themselves. And that's huge because Aquariuses are the weird ones, and they usually are on the outside looking in. So believing in themselves is a big step. We have to applaud them for that. And that's going to give you a new attitude and relax your mind. And a lot of Aquariuses I know have been having problems because their mind's been closed to certain solutions. And that was, I think, because they were not really feeling that belief. So for everybody, I think this is a new deal with yourself, a new deal with stepping into a new potential, And it comes from the fact that you're feeling this one side and this new fairness with yourself, that you have the strength to go ahead and make a move and make a change in your life. And really you should. The odds are completely in your favor, says Sensei, because we're in such a powerful past life moment. I feel like a lot of us are really on the train of destiny, and our job is just to show up. Halamia, right? All right. Well, that wraps up our tea time for the week. Such a pleasure to be of soul service. I want to remind you we have a lovely group on the internet of kindred souls. Come on down to namastetoday.club. It's a Facebook club, and I post there quite often, and so do all of our friends and neighbors, so you're welcome to come down. And I will see you next week with more. Happy Easter. Have a fabulous transformation of you. Until next time, remember, I love you, and live, love, be.